Good day. We will discuss about knowing your role as an F&B service staff. So we are now in topic number 3. Again, knowing your role as an F&B service staff. So in a previous module, we discussed about the different duties and responsibilities of F&B staff. And for this particular lecture, we are going to discuss about knowing your role as an F&B service staff. So to be able to do your duties properly, you must understand your role in the organization. So here are some ways to help you know your duties and responsibilities as food and beverage staff. So to be able to do your duties properly, you must understand your role in the organization as what I have mentioned earlier. And here are some ways to help you know your duties and responsibilities as a food and beverage staff. So first is the organizational structure. So this is refers to how the members are situated in an organization. So the organizational structures will not only help you find your place in an organization, but will also help you identify the chain of command and how the flow of the authority in an establishment. So there is a chain of command that you must follow if you are working in an F&B staff, F&B department, or any organization or in any company. For example, here, for example, this is the general manager. So the general manager will contact the manager in every department. For example, F&B manager, this is front office manager, and this is housekeeping manager. And every manager, there is a supervisor, and every supervisor, there is a staff. So there is an organizational, or there is a chain of command, or there is what we call protocol. Okay, so the staff here, for example, are not allowed to communicate directly to the general manager. So he will discuss, or he will talk to the supervisor, and the supervisor will talk to the departmental manager, and the departmental manager will talk to the general manager, for example, if there is any concern. Okay, so it is very important. For example, if you have this is a really good example. This is not just only for the hospitality and tourism industry, but also while you are in the university. For example, there's a complaint, or there is a certain area that you want to talk to the college dean. Before you will go to the college dean, you need to talk first to your advisor, and the advisor will talk to me as a chairperson, and me as a chairperson will talk to the dean concerning the issues, or for example, there's a problem. So there is a called chain of command that you need to follow. So if you are working in the F&B industry or hospitality and tourism industry, there's also a chain of command that we need to follow. It is very important. Next is contracts and job description. A contract is written documents that states the description of your job, so the scope of your responsibilities and the terms of your employment. So this is usually provided by your employer before you start working. For example, if you are going to apply a certain job, for example, in a restaurant, you will be hired by the HR manager, for example, and then you will be given a contract, and there is a description written. For example, if it is a contractual, for example, you will have a contract of 1 year working in the establishment. So the HR manager will give you a job description, your duties and responsibilities. For example, if you are a waiter, what are the rules of a waiter in a certain establishment? And you need to follow what is written there. Okay, for example, there's a 1 year contract. After 1 year, you need to renew your contract. If you don't provide a good quality service, there's a big tendency that the HR manager will not renew your contract. Okay, so there's a job description. There's a specific duties and responsibilities. What is the scope of your work? So it is written in the contract or job description. Next is on-the-job training. OJT, or the on-the-job training, will let you familiarize yourself with the function of each staff or each department and the processes inside the organization through hands-on work experience. So the OGTs can be required for interns or new staff and even for old staff members if a new policy or new system is being implemented. That is why when you are in the fourth year level of your bachelor's degree in hospitality management, in the second semester, you are required to have an on-the-job training with the various establishment, not just in Bohol, but may also apply in Cebu or in Manila, or probably in outside the country. So you will undergo on-the-job training. You will undergo hands-on work. You need to have a hands-on work experience in which you are going to follow for example, the regular employees, and you need to observe and practice what they are doing. So by doing that, you will gain experience, and later on, if you are going to work there, you will be absorbed because of your good performance. It isn't easy for you to execute the duties and responsibilities of the certain employee because you have the privilege to observe and try their work. So on-the-job training is not just only for the students, but on-the-job training is also applicable for the employees who are already employed in the establishment. For example, he will be transferred to other department. So the employee of that certain department will train the employee coming from different department to introduce, the equipment, machines, and how to work in the certain area. And for example, same department, not just transferring to other department, but same department. And for example, the manager or the owner will impose a new system or new implementation or new policy. So they will undergo training, they will undergo seminars, they will undergo workshop in order to know the new system that is being implemented by the management. The fourth one is SOPs, or the policies and manuals. We already know the meaning of SOP, standard operating procedure. So every activity in a certain organization or company, there is a standard operating procedure that we need to follow. There's a policies and there is a manual. Okay, so these are the set of instructions that indicate the appropriate action to be undertaken for any possible workplace situations. So the SOPs may be set by the establishment and influenced by practices in the industry and sometimes policies implemented by a concerned government agency. Again, in every establishment and every department and every specific work or job, there is an SOP, or there is a policy, and there is manual. Okay, it is established by the owner of the establishment, and also there is part coming from the government. So they will impose policy. For example, if you will handle um, food, especially during pandemic, there is a policy that is imposed by the government. For example, you need to wear hairnets, you need to wear masks. Okay, so there is a policy, and it is influenced by the government, especially in the area of medical requirements. And also, the establishment will employ the certain policies, not just coming from the government, but in their own policy. So there's a standard operating procedure. So it is very important as an employee of the certain company that you need to know, you need to read the policies and manuals. For example, you as a student in the university, you need to read and follow the student's manual. So I have a question. Did you read your uh, the student manual? So, so it is very important that you need to read the manual because there is certain policies. For example, you need to follow the proper haircut. You need to follow the right dress code. You need to follow the right communication. So there is a lot of policies written in the student's manual. Same with the establishment or any industry. You need to follow the SOP policies and manuals. And lastly, the daily task sheet, or direct request and observation. It is very important as an employee to have this daily task sheet. So the daily task sheet is an documents detailing the activities that you have to undertake throughout your shift. For example, you were you're going to have a morning shift. So the supervisor will give you the daily task sheet. So that is your goal, that is your mission on that specific day. You need to accomplish your duties on that particular day. That is your daily task sheet. It is a sheet of paper indicating your task on that specific day. So you need to accomplish that one. So it is important. So you will be guided what you are going to do in your whole day duty. So this is usually handed to the staff or posted in the bulletins. So there's a possibility that supervisor will give you this paper, or it is written in the bulletin board before the service will start. Meanwhile, direct requests and observations will show you tasks that need to be addressed immediately, depending on the event or what you feel based on the or any given situation. So this is a regular daily task sheet, but sometimes the supervisor will give us a direct request. So you need to have a take note on the direct request and also the observation. For example, you observe in a room 305 that there is something missing on that materials or anything in the room. So you need to take note on that. Okay. And for example, as you have the room service, and then sometimes there is a request coming from the guest, and you need to write the request of the guest. Okay, so you need to take note on that particular thing. So this is the end of my discussion. I hope that you have learned something from this short discussion. See you in the next video. Bye bye.